Hello, everybody. Sorry I've been gone for a bit. I've had some technical issues and things to deal with. um, excuse me. But welcome back to Random Thoughts with Proteus Chris. And I am on my way to an early uh, Lyft ride this morning. It was scheduled a few days back, so that's the nice thing about Lyft is the scheduling of rides. And you can see the nice little sunrise coming up there. So I have to get out a little early to pick this person up. So I don't have to worry about that. This particular ride, so that is something I do, like I said, like about Lyft. One thing I don't like about Lyft is being depending on where you are, where I was yesterday, there was a whole lot of disabled people that using the service yesterday. Uh-oh, what's going on up here? Ah, now I don't have a thing against disabled people, but the one lady, I had a hard time getting into the vehicle. I'm afraid I might have hurt her getting her in. I hope I didn't, but she did yell "ow," and I tried my best not to hurt her, and I tried to be careful about how I helped her. She was just, I don't know, she couldn't move her legs very good. But anyway, they sent me, and I'm in this tall vehicle, and she just could not get her legs up. And anyway, we got her in. It wasn't easy though. Poor thing. But all I can say is I must have been the only person in that area running because I was getting hammered with order ride after ride after ride. I mean, I had 7 runs in 4 hours. I probably would have got more if I'd stayed on, but I didn't want to, so I left. I was just in a different area for banking. I had a bank in that area. I used to live there, so I had a bank in that area. So I went down to do some sign some paperwork, that sort of thing. And while I was there, I figured, let's turn it on and see what happens. Well, saw what happened. Got clobbered. But let's see what happens today. There's a certain phenomenon. I don't know if anybody paid attention to our little. I'm a little late to the party on this one, I guess, but there was a big back and forth in Congress between a idiot from Georgia and a very smart woman from Texas. And oh my lord, the bleached blonde, bad built butch body became a thing, also known as B6. What was it? Blonde, bad built butch body. Yeah, that's 6. Oh, and what we found out again is that Republicans can dish it out, but they cannot take it. boy, they can't take it. When they are hit, and they are hit hard, they cry and cry like bullies, like all bullies. They cannot take it. Marjorie Taylor Greene was the focus of this, and she is the one that is absolutely getting it. This woman is an idiot. She likes to dish it, but she don't want to take it. Basically, when growing up, I was taught that if you can't take it, don't dish it. And, well, she decided that she wanted to be, snarky little thing that thought she was going to start things. I mean, they didn't get rid of her. Somehow they got to get her out of Congress. Even Republicans don't want her there. And unfortunately, she's in an extremely stupid, safe district. As long as she has an R after her name, she will always be there because those idiots will keep voting for her, no matter what. Doesn't matter what she does. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where she just. I'm sorry. She basically has accomplished nothing for them, doesn't even try to do anything for them. And yet they're like, apparently owning the libs is the only thing that they care about in her district. And it's amazing to me. I mean, it really is amazing to me that is the only thing that they care about. I mean, do they not want anything at all? And we are on Interstate 77. And looks like we're hitting the morning rush, or at least what there is of it this morning. We might be a little ahead of it, actually. But there's some traffic behind me a little bit. Not a real bad amount of traffic, but there's some. Apparently, the same people getting ahead of everything. But Miss Greene is a disgrace to our electoral system and our education system also. Because if we can't produce people better than this to put into Congress, what are we doing? What are we doing as a country? Why are these people in Congress? How the hell are they getting in there? We should do better. We need to do better. I mean, honestly, why did we not do better than this? I don't know why Republicans insist on voting for the dumbest person on the ticket. And speaking of dumb people on the Republican side, Nikki Haley has actually come out and endorsed Donald Trump. So, well, I don't know if endorses seems to be a bit of a strong word. She said she will vote for him. Doesn't exactly, not a ringing endorsement, but close enough. I'm sure they'll. I saw Jimmy Kimmel pretty much making fun of her for it, uh, and rightly so, because I mean, the way that man talked about her and talked how horrible she talked. He just decimated her on a personal level. Well, it just shows that she has no moral compass, which I did not expect to see from any Republican hardly ever. I think there's a handful of them that's actually had some moral stands and said, no, I can't support this man and I will not vote for this man. But she is honestly, she's just doing a calculation to determine whether or not she thinks she's going to have a future in the Republican Party. And this is even after he came out and said that he is going to ban birth control. I mean, that's what he. I see somebody talk about it. When Trump was asked, did he want to uh, support a ban on contraceptives, he said he was working on a policy and they'd have it out in a couple of weeks. And it was mostly focusing around allowing the states to do whatever they want. And I saw somebody make a point that it's a good possibility that Trump didn't understand what the word contraceptive means. And that's why he answered that way, because he didn't understand that means birth control. Because he's an idiot. And there's a good chance he's an idiot. But one of the people that's in charge of the 2025 project, which is also the people that are Trump administrative goals and how they're going to do Trump's administration, said that they were going to get rid of all forms of birth control, including IVF. They're going to do away with IVF so people can't have babies that are infertile or have fertility problems. They are basically going to invoke the Handmaid's Tale, make women more or less slaves to men again, like they were before the 70s. Okay, here's the problem with this, what way they see it and what they're wanting to propose in their golden age. A lot of people don't remember, but I do, that women before the 70s were not allowed to have bank accounts, were not allowed to have credit cards, not really allowed to own property. There wasn't a policy directly on that, but if you couldn't have a bank account, you couldn't get a credit card, and you couldn't have a line of credit, how the hell are you going to buy property? You could barely have allowed to have a job of any kind. And you were not allowed to be basically a woman in public almost. I mean, it was just about that bad. But yeah, that was not a golden age when women had no rights, basically. I mean, it comes down to it, women more or less did not have rights back then. It's insane. And they want to go back to that. No, I do not want my daughter to be subjugated by some guy, some man. No, she is to have her own autonomy. She is to be able to, if she wants to buy property, buy property. She wants to get a line of credit, she gets a line of credit. If she can do everything equally, she can be her own person and can have her own control. It's insane what they want, and that's what that stupid field goal kicker was talking about. That's what he wants to go back to. And I feel bad for his daughter being brought up by a man who thinks you are less than human and doesn't see you as human, that sees you as his property, which I'm pretty sure is how he sees his daughter. And it's how he sees his wife, and their old school mindset. That's how the woman belongs to her father until he sells her off to the husband, and that's how they did it. Now the property was connected to the girl so that she'd be a more uh, piece of. It'd be easier to marry her off, basically. That's just me speaking as a father of a little girl that is growing up really fast. I just that one ticked me off. He made that commencement speech at a school, and that really blew up in his face. I think that pretty much ended his chances at endorsement deals. But hey, it'd be hard pressed to find a brand that would want to use him because I don't know of any brand that would really want to associate with that level of misogyny and homophobia. I mean, this guy, and what gets me on Facebook, I have been indebted with this dude. I don't care. They keep saying he has his free speech. Well, yeah, free speech. He can say what he wants. He can get up and say that. But here's the problem. That doesn't make him immune from consequences to that speech. And they kept saying, "Oh, he had a standing ovation." How many of them stood because they wanted to, or how many of them were pushed into standing for him? More likely, they were pushed into standing for him. Catholics, private Catholic college. But I don't know. Oh yeah, there's some women that might agree with that to some extent, but or they probably wasn't even listening to what he was saying. Most likely, they weren't. I know when I was at my graduation and they had a commencement speech, I couldn't tell you a damn thing the guy said today. I couldn't have told you 5 minutes after we walked out what they said. I wasn't paying attention. I could care less what that idiot was saying. I was like, hurry up, get this over with. I want my diploma, my degrees, whatever I was getting at the time. I want my papers. I want to get out of here. And as I understand it, that speech was but with the commencement speeches, they might have been a standing ovation because he shut up. Because he droned on for what, an hour? They might have been like, "Thank God this man shut up." I mean, it could have been very well that they were just like, "Yay, he done shut his damn mouth. Now we can leave." I very doubt seriously that most of them could tell you anything. If it had been like a big deal and they could see it later, most of them didn't even. but I'm pretty sure that most of those people couldn't have, at the time, what he said. I doubt very many of them were even paying attention to a word that man was saying. There. How much can you say in an hour? You're just only supposed to be there to give them encouragement for the future, not lecture them on whether or not that you think they have any value as a human being. And telling all the women that just got their degrees that those things are as useless as toilet paper. Why don't might as well wipe your ass on it and flush it down the toilet because you need to get back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. I mean, that's more or less what he told them. Which the guy was a jackass. I'm sorry, he's just a jackass. And yes, he has the freedom of speech to say stupid stuff. And I'd rather he did it. So we know that he's a jackass. But he doesn't have freedom from consequences from saying it. Neither do I, in fact. If somebody gets mad at me for saying anything about him, well, feel free. Knock yourself out in comments. I appreciate it. You don't have to agree with me. I don't need you to agree with me. But the fact is, the man said some stuff, upset some people, and they voiced their opinion about what he had to say. That's how it works. Deal with it. And I don't know, just being a father of a daughter and seeing what kind of people or what they're wanting to do to take away her rights, it just bothers me. I want her to have a good life, and I want her life to be better than mine. That's the goal. That's what I worked so hard for, is to make sure that was the whole point of being a parent, is to make sure your kid is better than you, does better than you, has a better life than you, has better options than you. Uh, I don't think people understand what freedom of speech means in this country. And freedom of speech means that only the government can't come in and tell you you can't speak against the government. And he wasn't speaking about the government. So freedom of speech doesn't apply to anything he was doing. You can speak out against the government. That's it. That's what it covers. And the government can't step in and say, hey, no, you can't do that. No, that's not government. Oh my gosh. Okay, this big truck's gonna swoop. He lost his momentum. He can't. Yeah, he's coming over anyway. Jesus. Now he's going back. Okay, make your mind up, buddy. He lost his momentum. He can't get overtake that bigger truck or that other truck in front of him now. Yeah, gonna be a wild morning. Hopefully, I don't have to stay on the interstate very much today. I prefer not to. It looks like they're gonna be crazy. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people don't know how most of our laws and things work in this country. But that's again, we should work on our education system. We need to make sure people actually understand how our thing how things work here. We do not seem to. Unfortunately, we seem to have lost. We've lost a lot of things in this country. We've not been educating our kids as good as we should have, and it looks like it's mostly my generation. That's what really bothers me is apparently they didn't pay attention. Of course, in my case, I had a really bad teacher who was just some football player they put in as a history teacher, and he couldn't get past the Civil War in U.S. history. I mean, he come to class dressed as a Confederate soldier and would kept calling it the War of Northern Aggression and telling us that it wasn't about slavery and all kinds of stupid stuff. That that man was an idiot. And if I'd known then what I know now, I would have probably called him out on it. And I probably would have got in trouble because he's an idiot. Also, he did say, now he did manage to touch on World War II just a bit. The one thing he said is he thought Hitler was right about killing gay people. And they said that in a classroom back in the 80s. He felt comfortable enough to say that. And now, as an adult and knowing some of the people that were in that classroom, as we got older, at least 2 kids in that classroom that I was in were gay. We didn't know it then because, well, obviously they had good reason to keep it to themselves because their teacher just called for them to be murdered in class. I should have reported that. Looking back, but I was a kid. I didn't know any better. I didn't know that that was against the rules. A teacher saying that people should be murdered and that they agreed with Hitler. He should have never been a teacher. He should have been fired immediately. But here's the thing. Back then, if I'd went to the school board and said that the teacher said that Hitler was right and that he was okay with killing gay people, they probably wouldn't have done anything. I would have probably got expelled. I would have probably been expelled. And I would have been ostracized as a person in the community. I mean, they really would have gone after me. They were already accusing me of being gay because I wouldn't date none of the girls in my school because I didn't like any of the girls in my school. I didn't like most of the people in my school, come to think of it. They bullied the snot out of me. Why? What part of... okay, I got bullied a lot. And here's the thing. Nobody stood up for me. I was a very shy child. And not one of those people seeing what was happening to me, not only did they not intervene, and some of them were laughing and enjoying the show of me being tortured by a bully and said nothing. Not one of them stood up. So, yeah, that didn't exactly inspire me to want to be a part of that. And then they're wondering, why aren't you wanting to date the girls in this school? Well, probably because I watched a bunch of them laughing at me being bullied. So, yeah, that doesn't exactly inspire me to want to have anything to do with those people. I didn't hate the girls in my school. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't find them attractive. I just there was no, there was nothing there. I mean, I felt nothing for them. It's amazing how much they. I don't know. It's what's funny though here lately is I keep getting reports back from my mother and other people of all the people that did bully me are dying. I'm outliving my bullies, so I can live with that. Literally, I don't feel a whole lot of sympathy though. I mean, I feel bad for the family members. I don't feel bad about the bully dying. I mean, I don't feel, joy or anything. I'm just indifferent. I mean, it's like sort of like, how about that? And move on. I mean, I do feel a little bad for the families because, I don't hold them accountable for what the bully did. Well, that would be wrong, in my opinion. But really, some of these people, they stayed in that town. Excuse me. And the town is toxic because of all the coal mining. I've mentioned that before in previous videos, and there's a lot of them dying from cancer over there. Unfortunately, I've already had one cousin die this year. I have at least two more that'll probably not make it. It's not looking good. One of my cousin's wives died as well, and he's also on death's door. And it's not good. It's not good at all. There's a lot of cancer in that town, and those people are dying horrible things. And I have to keep an eye on it too because I lived there a long time, and I probably have some. I've already had screening. I get a regular screening, and I had they had pre-cancer cells in my colon, and I got to keep an eye on that. But I mean, it's because I come from some place that's so freaking toxic, and these people, pro coal. Oh, coal's so great. No, coal sucks. Coal's killing people. The mining of coal is extremely toxic. These people have no idea how toxic it is. But no, they want. Oh, we got another blue line up here. Well, he busted somebody. Little pickup truck. That thing was. How fast could he be going in that little truck? That's impressive, actually. But that little truck could actually move like enough to cop to pull him over. That's kind of impressive, to be honest. Yeah, coal is extremely dangerous, as I would say. It's going to be rough weather today. I can feel it in my bones. Well, it's about time to get signed in for my scheduled pickup. I'm not quite to the where I need to pick them up yet, though, but I am getting close to it, and I have gotten 36 minutes today, so that's not bad. Anyway, need to wrap up for the day, and I'll try to get some shorts on later. I got some videos I just haven't had time to edit, and I will see you guys later.
And I'm good. Let's go. Oh, got my drawers.